What's up, everybody? So this video was a long time coming. I know I've been gone for quite a bit of time, but a lot of things have happened and a lot of things have changed, and I'm going to update everybody. The two biggest things that have changed is I finished my bachelor's degree in both communications and psychology at Temple University. And the game that I made, I've officially released it on I'm trying to put it on Steam, but Steam is really difficult to get your games put onto. So currently I'm going to put a link in the description. It's on itch.io. Don't know if anyone knows what that is, but it's where you can download the game. And donations would be appreciated, but they're not required. Right now I'd really just like people to see the game and play it. I'm also planning on releasing it on other platforms as many as I can to get myself out there. So I was originally doing a master's program at the same campus in Japan for a master's of science in education for TESOL, which is teaching English to speakers of other languages or students of other languages. But unfortunately, the Zoloft I was on it wasn't working anymore, and I ended up. The brain chemistry is really weird, but essentially I started having a manic episode because I started realizing, for one, I didn't feel like I fit in with the group. Might be, a bit of my insecurity. And the professor, he really reminded me of people I was in the military with. And I think that was kind of triggering my issues. And I realized the things that I was reading, it felt like it was a bunch of people just overcomplicating communication. And the whole goal of communication should be to communicate more effectively and efficiently, not overcomplicate things. And I realized I was just really sick of academia. I was sick of hearing other people's opinions, especially because I felt like these people in those classrooms cannot understand the things I've been through. And I got sick of hearing their opinions. I know that sounds extremely arrogant, but that's just how it is. So one day, because for them to take attendance, they would have us ask a question that would be used for a discussion that would prove that you read the chapters. And I wanted to talk about my sister and the things that she went through as a means of showing how to speak directly without, any falsehoods. And the professor wouldn't let me do it. And he said, the students in this class, that would scare them. And I started thinking to myself, with the way, all the things that are going on in the world, the things that people are going through, my story isn't actually unique, and it's actually not that bad compared to things going on in, lower income countries, or that's not the way to say it, but it's not important. And it just started making me angry. Like, why aren't people just scared all the time? Why don't people care about those things? Why are people living in these little bubbles? And the next day, I came into the classroom, and I know people could just feel the anger coming off of me. And I straight up said to the professor, what is the point in expressing an idea that is incorrect? I explained my cursory understanding of Wittgenstein to him, that if there's two solutions to a problem, that means both are incorrect. And it feels like when people are debating, they're just playing word games. That's why I hate debates. And he essentially told me to go home because I was stressed out, which I was. But then the next class, I came for the next class, but I had this epiphany, and I realized that what if all the issues in the world can be simplified to the fact that adults overestimate their importance? Because as far as nature is concerned, once you have a child, the only thing that matters is that child. Your needs no longer mean anything. And once the child is able to take care of themselves, your life doesn't really matter. It's a morbid thought, but I always think of this video I saw of a chimpanzee whose baby fell into a lake or a river, some type of water structure, and dove to get the baby, like no questions asked, and juxtapose that to videos of adults abusing their children. Like, isn't that backwards? I went to school and I tried to express this thought to a group of students, and 3 of them were actually, I considered friends of mine. But as I tried to say it, because I was bullied and I have mild Tourette's, so when I try to express myself sometimes, I stumble over my words like I did right there, and I'll just stutter in general. So I was having trouble getting it out, and people kept interrupting me with their opinions. I don't care about opinions, I care about truth. And so I got frustrated. I said to this one kid, I don't care what your opinion is. And then I tried to say, I'm sorry for, being that blunt, but he just jumped on me. And this other kid, he says, oh yeah, you're trying to save the world, but you don't care about other people's opinions. And I wanted to strangle that kid to death. Because I don't know if he's a kid. He might have been a military veteran. There's a lot there, and it was just amazing. I would never be that disrespectful to somebody. But the second I'm slightly disrespectful to somebody else, it's just like, I gave so much advice, so much free counseling to those kids at that school. But when I'm having mental health problems, nobody is there to protect me. And when everyone started laughing at me when I got frustrated and left the room, none of my friends came out to check on me. They just sat there playing their little video games. And it felt like the world was just completely backwards. Then I left the school, or actually I went up to try to talk to the one professor, because even though he did make me angry, he's a very intelligent person, so I really wanted to talk to him about my idea. I can't remember what he said because I was really flustered at that point. But he essentially told me to go away because he was giving advice to this little Japanese girl, and I'm sure her problems were horrible. Then I left the school and I sent a message. It was funny because I felt like I had just been yelled at by my dad. That's how upset I was, because being autistic, I have trouble processing emotions as is. But just being yelled at like that just really got to me. And I just sent a message to the TUJ, Temple University Japan Campus students Facebook page, and I just told off everybody. Because my main thing was there's a connection between developmental disorders and school shootings. And I was trying to express that, but everyone got stuck on the fact that I implied that autistic kids are automatically going to shoot up schools. That's not what I was implying. I'm saying if these things could be identified at a young age, maybe these tragedies could be prevented. But people just like playing word games. And I'm still kind of embarrassed, really embarrassed about the post that I made in the group. I just realized I couldn't be part of academia anymore. So then for like 2 weeks after that, I just had rants on Facebook, and I can barely remember those 2 weeks. And after I talked to my old counselor, she told me that what it sounded like was a manic episode, and I really do believe her. So currently I'm claiming bipolar disorder, post-traumatic stress disorder, and potentially obsessive compulsive disorder through the Veterans Affairs, so that I can increase my disability, because I really need a break, because I basically went 10 years without really giving myself a break. And I'm currently working towards a job hunting visa in Japan, but I really want to go to Manila and just stay with my girlfriend for a few months and just not think about anything. And I'm planning on writing a book. So after I'm going to stay in Japan at least until my Veterans Affairs things go through, so I can get all my disability from one address. And I'm also waiting for TUJ to send my diploma. And I'm waiting for my new debit card, so I have a lot of things that are requiring me to stay here right now. But my plans after that are to go to Portland, Oregon, to do what is called a coding boot camp, so I can get into computer programming, because that's where it's at these days, and it's something I really need to get into, especially since I'm into making video games. So that's pretty much all I can think of right now. Sorry for the long wait. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this channel right now. I've been blogging a little bit, so I guess I'll start adding my blog to my posts so that there's a direct link there. But it's easier for me to express myself when I'm writing, because I can just sort everything out a lot better. So that's it. As always, if you like my video, subscribe. If you like my music, buy it. And if you hate me, tell everybody.